Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, third Wednesday of the month, which means it's time for a virtual card and a cuppa. Those of you who have your kits, obviously you've only now got one kit left for this month, and this is what it is. It features products that will be available come the 5th of January from the new January to June mini catalogue. Apologies, I'm just trying to set things up still whilst I'm yakking on. So hopefully you can see this. I'm just trying to make sure that I can see it. Oh, it says I'm live. I think that's it. Okay, right. Okay, so as I said, morning. My name's Fiona Whitten. You will find me on Facebook and on YouTube and my blog as Oakfield Crafts. So if I ever talk about Oakfield Crafts, that's actually me. So this is the kit that I am using today. Those of you who ordered the kits for December know or should have this one. It's the last one, the previous one being used 2 weeks ago. So I'll just run through it very quickly. Let's get rid of some of those. So you have your envelope. Then you have this is Pacific Point, this blue. So you have a C6 card. So it's basically A4 cut in half. So you have that. You have a piece of Whisper White that's going to go on the inside. You have a piece of, this is Poppy Parade. So it's one of the reds that we have. You will also have 3 of these. So these are actually pockets. So these have been cut out from the new suit and tie dies, and I'll show you those in a moment. So you have 3 of those. You will also have a strip of the designer series paper, which is for the inside or for other things. You'll also have 1 long piece of Whisper White. And yes, this is still Whisper White at the moment. I don't know if you've heard, but Whisper White is no longer available. I think we've sold out here in the UK because the paper mill in the States that produced it, unfortunately, has had to go out of business as a result of the economic downturn from COVID. So Stampin' Up have sourced a new paper mill, and we will be having Basic White is what it's going to be called. So yes, so this is Whisper White. I'm looking forward to trying the new basic white out. You will also have 6 of these. You'll have 3 Poppy Parade and 3 Pacific Point, and they're little buttons. So these 2 come from the dies. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I put it on an envelope. So the die itself cuts it out, and also, let's see now, I've got to find my thing. Now, hopefully, I don't know if that has. So they're little buttons. So they'd say there's a little crosshatch in the middle to where you look for stitching and things like that. I am pleased to say that you don't cut these out one at a time, thank goodness. The actual die for it cuts out 6 at a time. So you will have 6, but there are 3 of each colour. So that's what you should have in your kit. Yeah, I had these things all over the place because I can't remember how many I made in the end. These I had to cut, but it was like over 100. But there you go. So that's the kit that you have. And I'll just show you, these are the dies. So these are the dies that come in the suit and tie die. So you have ties. This is the little one that I was just talking about. So I don't know if you can see it. It's 6 at the same time. They're not attached, so they will just pop out. can't even see. Oh yes, there you go. There you go. So they'll just pop out. So we have a tie. This was the long strip of the white that I used. This is the pocket to go on a shirt front or a jacket front. And then you have various other dies. So this here, this piece and this piece, V-neck, make you lapels, bow ties. That's the knot for the bow tie, if I can remember. This is for making collars, and then this is for braces. So this is the point that will go on the end of your braces, and that again is another little piece. So yeah, there's 14 dies in the pack, and then it's designed to go with this stamp set. So it's called Handsomely Suited. So we have the ties. Now, oh yeah, so this stamp set is actually 100% because it doesn't say, it's only shown us. So as you can see, the dies will fit these very nicely. And again, we've got two different sorts of bow ties. So we have that one will fit that one, and this one will fit that one. So there's lots of things that you can do with this. You can stamp, cut it out. You can just use your designer series paper and cut out the shapes, or you can stamp on the designer series paper, cut out the shapes even, put the teeth in. So that's the stamps. And then there's also lots of sentiments in. I like this because there are sentiments as well as the images. So we've got happy birthday, thank you, Father's Day, and encouragement, things like that. So that's a good one. And then the paper that goes with the suite looks like this, and I haven't finished this off because I haven't put the circles on yet. So this is the well suited paper, 12 sheets of 12 by 12, and these are the various designs. So we've got pinstripes, paisley, flowered. I said my husband's got a shirt that's kind of looks like that. Got tweed.
One sec.
Oh, sorry. This is the second time that this thing is done. I need to go turn that off. I thought I had, but obviously not. Siri's decided it's going to talk to me. We've got checks, we've got graphics, we've got all sorts of things. So this is really a versatile stamp set paper, because you can use it for all sorts of things. So that is the paper. Right, just so you know, I'm going to put up on my blog and on the Facebook page my classes for January, February and March of next year. And March of next year I'll actually be featuring this suite, and it'll be on the 27th of March, and it's called Not Just for Men, because I want to show you just how versatile this suite is. So this is the first card that I made. Pretty straightforward. So I've used everything in the kit. So we have the Poppy Parade is glued directly to the Pacific Point card front. Your 3 pockets are stuck on. And then what I did was I stamped, I had a small happy birthday sentiment in itty bitty greetings, I want to say. Yes, it's not itty bitty birthday, it's itty bitty greetings. So I stamped that on, and then I simply glued all 6 of the little buttons, cut this to size, and then just put it on with dimensionals. So it's pretty straightforward. And then the inside is just the paper. So that's the first card. Second card that I've made, I sort of turned it on its head. So rather than portrait, I've made a landscape card. And I was trying to figure out what to do with the pockets. So what I've actually done on these ones is I've actually cut off the bottom of the pocket. So I cut across where that point starts. and turned it over, because that's the reverse side of the paper. So I've turned it over and then glued it on. So basically that piece came off that portion there. I guess you could actually just fold it over rather than cutting it off, now that I think of it. But anyway, that's what I did. So this, and then this piece behind is actually that piece of designer series paper. So it's this piece, and I've just used the reverse side of it and glued it onto the Poppy Parade piece. The Happy Birthday to You comes from the Handsomely Suited stamp set, and I've used Poppy Parade ink on Poppy Parade, so it's tone on tone, so it's subtle, but you can still see it pretty clearly, at least I hope you can. And then I just put some buttons on, so I just used the 3 Pacific Point buttons. The great thing about these buttons, and I only realised it the other day when I was actually making this card, is that they fit over the mini glue dots perfectly. So there's no need to get wet glue out. Just tuck them onto a glue dot and then put them on. So it's much easier, much cleaner. You're not going to get glue all over the place like I did trying to do the first card. And then on the inside, so the piece that we had left would be the die cut piece of Whisper White. So I just glued that straight across the bottom of the piece of Whisper White for the inside. And again, I just added the 3 buttons that I had remaining. So that's my second card. So it's sort of a geometric card, just using the pockets and making them into squares. So that's my second. Now my third card is one that, as you know, I'm going to make here in front of you. So I don't need my envelope for the time being. Let's see what else I got. I don't need my middle bit at the moment, so I'll put that to one side. So I've got my Pacific Point card base, which I'm going to just use my bone folder on to make sure that it's nice and burnished. So I've got my piece of Poppy Parade cardstock, and you know me, usually on my third card I end up cutting something, and guess what, that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate this piece. So you can see that actually it's made up of the piece of Whisper White and the piece of the designer series paper. Now the designer series paper will fit on there, no problem, but you'll only have a tiny little edge that you will be able to see. And I wanted to be able to show the stitched part in more detail. So what you're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is take your trimmer, and as I said, you know me, it always involves cutting something in half, and we're going to cut, this is, if I put it, I don't know if you can see from here because I don't know where that goes. This is only a centimetre wide, so I want to line it up with my ½ centimetre marks so that I know then that the middle is going down the centre of the groove for cutting, she says. Oops. I should get some low tack glue or something, but I don't really want to ruin my trimmer. It doesn't have to be precise. So I'm just going to cut down there. So yeah, I've got one side wider than the other. And then the easiest thing to do is to actually take some of the tear and tape, fix that to the back of the designer series paper. Oops. That's a bit too long, so I need to cut that bit off. I would try and tear it, but knowing me, I'll end up tearing the paper as well, which I don't want to do. that somewhere out of the way so I don't end up being stuck to it. Oops, she says, bringing it back. So we've got tear and tape on there. I'm just going to use my paper snips to take this piece off. So that's that. So you can do this one of two ways. You can take this to the piece of Whisper White, or you can take the Whisper White to it. I prefer to do it this way. The only thing you need to be careful of is making sure that you don't end up sticking it to, like that, to the paper under that you're resting on. So that's one side. This side, I hope it's going to work because I didn't cut it equally down the middle. So hopefully I've got enough tear and tape on here. Oh, looks like I do. Now you will find that obviously there's a sticky piece down the middle, which is fine if you're going to glue it straight on, but I'm not. So I'm just going to get another piece of tear tape and just put that over it and not peel that portion off. Like that, and then you don't have a problem with picking it up. It's quite, so yeah, it's not tacky then. So that's my piece that I'm going to use. And now the question is, do I want it going up and down, or do I want it going across the middle? I think I'm going to take it across the middle. So what I think I might do is I might put some dimensionals on it. So before I do that, I need to decide what I'm going to do with these pieces. It's really funny because actually looking at it yesterday, I was thinking, cool, they look like just like the ideal shapes to make huts and things, you know, seaside huts. So the question is, what am I going to do with these? Am I going to put them like that? And you can play around with this to your heart's content and to make a shape that you like, or you can just simply just not even bother with those pieces and just use them for something else, and just have a simple card with a sentiment on. And actually I quite like that idea. It's a bit of a cop out, I guess, but so I'm going to use the happy birthday. So I've only used that stamp so far, and I'm actually going to stick my backing onto it. I know I've showed you how to do this before, but for those of you who don't know, haven't seen, simply remove there's two pieces on each of the images. So you remove those, remove the backing piece that comes with this, and then what I do is I simply take this to here and put it on in that negative space. There's a few shadows here, so it's a bit difficult to see whether I've done it correctly, but yeah. Yeah. So in theory, it should only fit one way. In practice, I have found a couple that, oops, I've put the thing on upside down simply because it was the same shape top and bottom, but as you can normally tell from these, as you can see, that it is a slightly different shape at each end. So that's a good way of actually being able to tell. Let's just take off some of that sticky. Because it's the red rubber and it's called cling, you need to be very careful. You don't want to leave, this is a really filthy block, you don't want to leave your stamp on there for too long, simply because it will stick to it. It's a bit like glue, and you'll have a great difficulty peeling it off. So I'm going to use Poppy Parade again. I'll just ink that up, line this up, And I'm going to put it towards the bottom, but not in the very bottom. So there we go. So we've got happy birthday to you. Put that stamp set out the way because I know what will happen is I'll end up putting something on it. So I'm going to glue this to a card front. Wow, my glue came out first time. I'll put that on here. Like so. Don't do what I did. So I really needed to fix that on before I actually put that on down. So if any of you were shouting at me saying, stick that on first, I apologise. I need to make sure that I do that again. I can't do it again. So I know that my piece of Poppy Parade is 14.4 centimetres. So I just need to take off this piece at the end here and hope that this will give me 14.4, which it does. That's good. I'm just going to trim that piece as well. There we go. So do as I say, not as I do. So you want to make sure that you've cut this to size before you come to stick it on. Now I'm actually going to put it on with some dimensionals. I do have them to hand. I have found everything. It's all to hand today. It's amazing. Now you can, if you want, peel off your backing. And I'm going to do that just... So if you were just going to go put this directly on, you could not bother, you know, just, you don't need any glue then because it's already sticky. Actually, you know what, seeing as it is sticky, I think I will just do that. So I'm going to put that here. There we go. So we have that, and then I think maybe I'll put a little, maybe put one of those each side of the happy birthday, maybe even put them underneath, just to highlight it. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that too. So I find my glue dots. So I've got my glue dots here, and as I said, they fit exactly over the glue dots. So that's that. All I've got to do is take them off again now. There we go. So I'm going to put the first one kind of in the middle. That. My glue dot obviously decided it was going to move. You can just fix it by using your pokey tool or your scissors and just sort of tuck it back under. So there you go. So that's that. And then all I've got left to do is the inside. So I'm going to find my piece of Whisper White. Now I've got all these pieces from the what's left of the kit. I do have one other. She says, don't know. Oh, no, that's not it. I nearly tried taking off a. There we go. So you can do something with them. So I think I might just glue them to the top. So they kind of look like shields. or partly shields. So that's what I'm going to do. So nothing's going to waste, it's all being used. It's just being used in a different way. I'm not going to stick the whole lot on. Put these on, whoops. One thing about using the glue is it will move, so you just need to be careful. That's the second one. Now I did try and make sure that everybody had 3 pockets that were cut identical. As you can see from mine, that's not the case, which is probably why I've got this. So that's that. Move. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it over and take that off. So I don't need these pieces, so I'm just going to cut them off. Like so. So you can either use them at the bottom of the card or the top of the card. It's up to you. You could put them down the side. So let's see, which way do I prefer? I actually quite like them at the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do. So glue that inside. Like that. And obviously if you've got the stamp set, you could stamp a tie or something else. Okay, that's it. So that's my third card. Let's tidy up and I'll show you all 3 again. So that was card number 1. This was card number 2. And then this is the third card that I've just made. So I'll be putting photographs of all of those up on the Facebook page. This recording will go up on there as well. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing a little bit about this new suite that will be coming on the 5th of January. So yeah, so this was the Well Suited suite. So there are other items, so there's some twine and other bits and pieces that comes in it. So if you don't have a UK demonstrator and would like a copy of the catalogue, just send me a private message. Thank you, Jackie. I just saw a quick comment appear across my screen. And Sally. As I was saying, if you don't have a UK demonstrator and would like a copy of the catalogue, then just send me a private message with your details and I will pop one in the post to you. Obviously, coming up to Christmas, things are going to be a little bit slower than normal, but hopefully you will get it just before the new year. Okay, well, thanks for watching and I will see you next week for another Facebook Live, which is not a card and a cuppa. Take care. Bye.